All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, as you can see on the screen here, we got a pretty spicy one lined up for you today. We've got mono yellow Linlin from ST07, the starter deck number 7. And guys, we've got a fun video lined up for today, and I think there might be some potential here, guys. This leader has some potential. I think we'll talk about that more as we get into the video. I don't want to say too much here in the intro. But real quick before we get into this, let me say something. I've already kind of showed this leader off before on the stream. So guys, if you have not checked out the stream yet, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays from 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m., it's a 3-hour window, 3 days straight. We go over a lot of cool, janky stuff. We have a lot of fun on there and do some brainstorming and theory crafting and all that good stuff. Be sure to check that out if you have not already, if you have the chance. If you don't have the chance, I understand. Everyone's schedule is a little bit crazy, right? But anyway, all right, so today we're going to be getting into this leader, and I've kind of showed it off before on the channel in the stream, but the games we're going to be seeing today are not from that stream. It's going to be, these are just other games that have not been seen yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this, guys. Real quick, let me lay it out for you. First things first, we're going to be checking out the deck list and kind of seeing what to expect from the list, because this is like a life burn style list, guys, and I think it's a lot of fun, and it has a ton of trigger support. Because if you're going to run this leader, if you're going to have any justification for running this leader over like Katakuri, Pudding, or Black Yellow Linlin, you know, you're probably going to need to really be able to abuse powerful triggers, and that's what we're going to go for the list. You'll see that when we get to it. So we'll check out the deck list first. After that, we got 3 games on the sim. We have a game versus Blue-Black Usopp, a game versus Yellow Y E.Kid, and then we have a game versus Gecko Moria. We got 3 games lined up for today, and then at the end of that, we'll wrap it up. I'll tell you guys my final thoughts on it. We'll talk about, you know, what I think about the deck going forward. And of course, while we're doing all this, guys, be thinking of possible inclusions, possible ways to improve the deck or whatever, right? Help me out, guys. Every video that I put out, guys, I'm offering it to be a community project, because some leaders need more help than others. Some leaders have more potential than others. And let me say right now, for this leader, guys, I think there's quite a bit of potential for this leader. But hey, you guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. All right, so that's what we're getting into, guys. I'll have everything time-stamped in the general description. I'll have all relevant deck lists and links in the comment section below. And yeah, guys, if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, or whatever, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below as well. Or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link is in the channel description. We're talking about One Piece 24/7 on there, guys. Okay, now, real quick, let's go ahead and minimize this, and let's talk about the deck list. Okay, moving the leader screen. Here we go. So let's go ahead and break this list down, guys, so we kind of know what to expect, so we know what we're getting into. First up, of course, we need to talk about the leader, right? So the leader is a 5,000 power, 5 life leader, mono yellow, and it is a Big Mom Pirates type leader. The 4 Emperors part is not really relevant to what we're doing, but the Big Mom Pirates part, of course, is. And the effect is Dawn ×2 when attacking. You may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life area to your hand. Okay, so you're taking a card from the top of your life, right? The top or bottom of your life. And then you're going to, if your life is at 2 or less, that's after you take a card, by the way. You may place up to 1 card from your hand at the top of your life area. So you can't put that at the bottom, but you can put it back at the top. So understand it like this, guys. When you're doing the effect, you can take a card from the top or the bottom. That part doesn't matter. But when you go to put a life back, if you have 2 or less life, you have to put it at the top. You can't like put a, you're the one who should disappear at the bottom, right? Unless it's your only life card left, right? So with that in mind, and the fact that there is a, notice where the colon is, it says you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life area to your hand. Okay, that's before the colon. So you do have to do that effect. You cannot do this on 0 life and gain a life. Does that make sense? Just understand that right away, guys. You can't gain life with this deck until you get down to 3 life, believe it or not, because you're going to take a life and then put 1 back. Because when you take the life, you're going to go down to 2 life, and then you can add a card to your you know, to the top of your life, right? So with that in mind, but when you're down to 0 life, well, now you can't use the effect anymore. You do have to have at least 1 life to be able to cycle through your life cards with this effect. So just keep that in mind when you're playing, okay, guys? Now, that's the leader effect. And notice what I said. You can start using this at 3 life. Like, that is a really, really big deal. Because when you're down to 3 life and you use the effect, you go down to 2 momentarily, and it says, oh, then it checks, okay, if you have, if your life is 2 or less, add a card to the top of your life. You don't show what the card is, guys. Understand that. Understand that right now, guys. You don't show them what the card is you just added to your life. So that is a very, very big deal, right? Okay, so you're going to put something on top. You might put a Nami on top, or an Onami, or say you're down to 2 life, right? Say you're down. Say you're at 2 life. You use the effect. You go down to 1 life. you can put a Frankie on top. So that way, when they hit you on the following turn, you're going to draw a card. If you have 1 or less life, which we'll have, we can play the card straight out. So there are a lot of combos you can do with this, guys. Rygo has an ability to pop characters, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost equal to or less than less than you and your opponent's life total. So this is like a Rygo, or excuse me, this is like a Yamato effect, right? Talking about the trigger, guys. The trigger can KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost equal to or less than you and your opponent's life total, just like Yamato. So you can set this card to your life. You can set Thunderbolt to your life to pop a 5 or less. You can, if you're down to, say you're down to 1 life. Okay, I'll swing 7 with my leader. I'll take the top card of my life. I have 0 cards in life, so I can still add 1 because I had 1 life when I did the effect to satisfy the cost. And now the card I put back, I can put like something like a You're the One Who Should Disappear. I can put a Beige. I can put a Sanji. I can put a Nico Robin and then have a Shirahoshi in my hand to cheat out into play. There are a lot of different things you can do with this leader effect. So really consider what's going on with this list and why we're running this list over something like a Katakuri or Purple Yellow Pudding or Black Yellow Linlin, who can also run the 10 cost character. We'll spend a little bit of time talking about this in a minute. But yeah, this leader effect, guys, I know I spent a lot of time on it, but I really want you to understand what I'm trying to do with this list. It's important. It's very important. There's a reason why we're going Charlotte Linlin. And keep it up in mind, guys, maybe Purple Yellow Pudding's better to run this list with. Maybe Black Yellow Linlin is better to run it with. Maybe Katakuri is. Keep all that in mind, though, when we're doing today's testing, okay, when we check out what we're going to be going over in today's games. So that's the leader. Shirahoshi is just incredible. I already told you guys about the synergy with Nico Robin. I think this is like a match made in heaven. Playing out a Shirahoshi early on is always a good play. And then if they play out, or excuse me, if they go under 2 life, or what is it? If they're at less than 3 life, where you can no longer use the on play effect from Nico Robin, and you have a Shirahoshi in hand, okay, not a big deal. We'll add the Nico Robin to the top of our life with a leader effect and cheat a Shirahoshi into play if that's the best play to do at the time. Okay, so Shirahoshi is just really good in this list. Make sure you pause and read this and know what it does. If they KO this card, you gain a life. We'll take it. We have lots of triggers that we can get through. Charlotte Linlin, I'm going to talk about in a minute because there's a specific curve we're going for in this deck. I guess I'll just talk about it now, actually. Why not? So this is the curve we're going for with this deck. And remember, it's all built around life burn and life manipulation for us and burning our opponent's life and even banishing life with cards like Onami. So turn 1, we're just going to go Shirahoshi. And this is going second. Going second, we prefer going second. If we can go second, it's going to be turn 1 Shirahoshi. Okay? Turn 2, we're slamming down a Kuzan or preferably a Basil Hawkins. Kuzan is very good in actually, let me say this. Kuzan is better in some situations, but for the life burn part of this, we're dropping down Basil Hawkins. We're going to pop, if they pop this card, they lose a life. And the trigger on that, we can set that later in the game too to draw 2 trash 1. That's a pretty strong trigger. Okay, after that, so for our 6th Dawn turn on turn 3, Nico Robin, they trash a life. Our turn 4 8 Dawn play, 8 cost uses Kid, they trash a life. And then finally, our final boss monster, it is so perfect for what we're doing, 10 cost Linlin, they trash a life. So think about that. If we just hit our 6, 8, 10 curve, and for early on, who cares if we play a Kuzan, who cares if we play a Shirahoshi, or a Sanji, or Onami, or whatever, or Droidbani, doesn't matter. As long as we hit our 6, 8, 10 curve, they're going to lose 3 life. Like, they're not going to draw the life. They're going to lose it. It gets trashed. So that is actually very, very relevant in this kind of deck, guys, for what we're doing here. Okay, set up my chair real quick. Okay, so that's Charlotte Linlin and the curve we're going on there. Beige is just incredible in here, guys, because we can just set it as our last life card. So say we go down to 1 life. Okay, no problem. I'll use the leader effect and set my card to Beige, or even I'll get this one over with right now too. You're the One Who Should Disappear, or even potentially Sanji. These are all insanely defensive triggers that we can get that can win us games. Same idea with Shirahoshi, guys, with Nico Robin. If they don't have no life left, like, we don't have to worry about using the on-play effect of this card. Okay, I'll set Nico Robin to my top life card, and I'll cheat out a Shirahoshi. Good luck getting through that without having to give me a life, or without me letting me eat up a blocker. And Beige is just a great 2K counter, and it's a trigger, so we can use it with Nami later in the game to trash it, or in the mid-game or something. It very, very good for the list. Sanji, great blocker, trigger, 1K counter, no downside to the card. Onami, this is a 2 cost, 3,000 power, 1K counter, trigger, pop a 5 or less. Absolutely incredible. And then on play, you can give up one of your leaders or characters banish. So again, it fits the theme. We're popping things from life. Guys, notice all the cards we can pop from life with. We're running 3 Onamis. We're running 4 Namis. We're running 2 Raigos and 3 Thunderbolts. So that is legitimately, let me do the math. 3, 6, 8, plus 4. We have 12 cards from life that can just pop something on the board. And who knows, maybe we need to go up on those cards. We'll have to see. Next up is Frankie. Frankie is a 2K counter that we can move around and do some really cool things with. We can set him to our, like, if we have 2 life left, right? Okay, swing for 7 with leader. Take our top life card. It goes to our hand. It doesn't get trashed. We take that card. So we don't lose card advantage. And then we put the card we want in life. And we'll put the Frankie there if we have 2 life left in that situation where we can trigger his actual trigger properly every single time. And otherwise, he's just a great 2K counter. Jory Bonnie, this is another target we can cheat out with the Nico Robin, and it's also another cycle draw 2 trash one, which is very important. We have 4 Basil Hawkins and 3 Jory Bonnies, lots and lots of cycling, because notice otherwise we don't really have a lot of card draw, right? So that is very important. Nami, this is another way to cycle cards. If our hand size gets low enough, we can cycle cards very effectively with this and pop 5 cost characters. This card's always been good for us. Just a great card. Next up is Kuzan. Kuzan is a 4 cost, 5,000 power, 1K counter. On play, you may place one of your opponent's cost 3 or lower characters on the top or bottom of their life face up, and then they have to trash a card. So we're playing out a 4 cost, let's just say on curve, say they go second, or say they go first, right? Turn 1, maybe they play out a Searcher. Turn 2, they play out like a 3 cost. Okay, turn 1, we play out the Shirahoshi, preferably. And then turn 2, we play out Kuzan and bounce whatever they played last turn, put it in their life, because we're gonna trash their life anyway, right, guys? We'll put it in their life and make them trash a card. So they lost the character on the board, we gained a character on the board, and then they lost a card in hand, and that was only to give them an extra life that we're probably just going to burn later, right? Very, very relevant. Okay, Nico Robin, we already talked about, but if our opponents have 3 or less life, play this out, they trash the top card of their life. Absolutely incredible. Basil Hawkins in this list is actually very, very good. It's a 4 cost 5K body to slam down going second, because otherwise it's either Kuzan we want going second on our turn 2, or we want Basil Hawkins. Either one's fine with us. It doesn't matter. Sanji, not as much, and same thing with Frankie. We'd rather save those when they're more this is just a solid card. And if they choose to KO it, if you're going against like a black deck, okay, they can just be my guest and pop it, and you're going to lose a life. That's fine with me. However, there's another thing too. Like, say if it's later in the game where it's like, yeah, but they don't have any life left, so this card's not any good anymore. Well, no, it's still probably pretty good in your hand, because you can just add it to the top card of your life with your leader effect and draw 2 trash one. Or use it with Nami to pop a 5 cost or lower character and potentially cycle cards. Eustace Captain Kidd in this deck is extremely powerful, guys. Like I said, if we can hit a 6, 8, 10 curve, it's going to be hard to stop us as long as we have a decent amount of counter power in hand. Because once we establish Nico Robin, we don't have to keep attacking their life. We get attack into their board with our leader attacks and our Nico Robin. And then if we follow up with that with a Eustace Kidd, trash their life, and now we have a 9K, follow up with a Linlin, we're gaining a life, they're trashing a life. It is just a very, very strong curve. We are running 2 Raigo. It's just a good card. It is what it is, right? The trigger is solid, and if we're playing against something like a Blackbeard, we can pop their 10 cost 12K Marshall D Teach very easily with this when we're down to 1 life, or we can go down to 1 life with the effect if we have to. Next up is Thunderbolt. This is just a great removal card. We can use it aggressively. We can use it, you know, with a trigger. You know, we can use it from trigger or use it aggressively by setting it there with our leader effect, or just use it straight from hand and pop what we need to. That's not an ideal situation, but it could be decent. And then last but not least, you're the one who should disappear. Hey, we can set our life cards. Why would we not want to run something like this? And it's a 0 cost 3K, and we have a decent amount of bricks in hand. So let's consider we have 4 Charlotte Linlin, 3 Eustace Kidd, 2 Raigo, and 3 Thunderbolts. So that is 3, 6, 8, 12. We have 12 bricks in the deck, which is not bad. That's probably about average. I think anywhere from like 12 to 16 bricks is probably about average for a deck. So we can also kind of, you know, offset that, mitigate that with the 0 cost event. So that's nice in that way as well. Okay, that's enough yapping about this, guys. Let's dive into the games and see how these are going to go, and we'll talk more about it afterwards. So the very first game we have up here is against Blue-Black Usopp, right? We got a game versus Blue-Black Usopp. We only got 3 games for today. First one up here is Usopp. So let me go ahead and make sure the volume is off, speed is 2x, and here we go. Okay, well, check that out, guys. We got the good old-fashioned 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 curve. This is basically like starting your game with a royal flush, right? If we were playing poker or something, we just, maybe not a royal flush, but this is at least some kind of like straight or something right here, right? This is crazy. Okay, they're going to come in for 6. We're going to take that, draw 2, trash 1. There's our cycles coming in handy. And now for forward on play, we're going to play this, swing in for 5. I get him to use his blocker. I think I scared him into using the blocker there. Maybe not. Maybe he was going to do it anyway, but we played out the Basil Hawkins afterwards. Okay, we go ahead and do a 2K counter to get out of that 6K attack. We don't want to take life, like, insanely aggressively, but we also don't care if we lose life either. It's not the biggest deal in the world. Okay, Nico Robin, there goes the top card of your life. Notice what we're doing. Hey, do you want to swing into my Basil Hawkins and lose another life? Be my guest, right? They don't want to do that. They're going to swing for 6, swing for 5. We countered out of both of those. I think that was a little too aggressive, but I knew they were about to have a big play with like a 7-cost Rebecca. Okay, they play out the Kairos, they play out the Sabo, but do we care about the board that much? I think we are going to go for it a little bit, but nothing crazy. We'll go 6 into 6 here. Let's see if he can save it. He does give me a 2K counter, and then we'll go 5 into 5. He lets that one go, draws a card, and we play out a Eustace Kid and say, okay, trash the top card of your life. We're going to trash a Thunderbolt with the effect at the end of turn. Because remember, at the end of your turn, your Eustace Kid can do a draw 1, trash 1. All right, he's going to go 15 into 9 with a Gum Gum King Kong gun with the Kairos into my Eustace Kid. Hey, you can have it, man. That card is all yours. Now, this is unfortunate here. This is why I think I was countering out a little too aggressively earlier, in my opinion, but that's okay. They're going to swing it for 5 with 1K counter out. They'll play out an Idio. We knew that was coming. So here we go. I'm going to swing for 5. They're going to definitely counter out or blocker, yeah, and draw a card. We play out a Linlin. We're up to 5 life. Your turn. They play a Red Rock. That's a pretty good answer to Linlin. I will be completely honest with you guys. That's a pretty good answer to Linlin. And here we go. They're going to play out a Leo. They're going to try to grab some cards here, maybe some blockers. They're going to swing for 6. We're going to take it. Oh, okay. We did get a Nami. We do KO the Cavendish, okay, even though it wasn't anything special. Then we get another hit. Okay, I think we got another Nami, but we're not going to use that. Okay, play out 10, Lin. Swing 5. Your turn. And right here, they give me a 2K counter for a 5K attack. Guys, we've made them lose 2 life with Linlins, 1 life with Charlotte, with Nico Robin, and then 1 with Eustace Kid. They have lost 4 cards that they never got access to, no triggers, nothing. So, that is a very strong curve. There's something to be said there, guys. There's something to be said. They're going to play out a Rebecca again to get a Kairos out. They're trying to deal with me. Now, fortunately for us, they never got the stage this game, but we haven't had many characters for them to swing into sideways. Okay, so what just happened there? I did miss that. Hang on, guys. I did miss what just happened there. Okay, so it's our turn. They pass with 2 blockers. We're going to go... okay, yep. So we go ahead and pop... So what we did there, guys, we paid 2 with Thunderbolt and just lost the top card of our life, popped one of their blockers. Now we're going to pay 5, play out the Nami, trashing a card to pop their guy, and cycling a card to a Shirahoshi. That was a pretty good one to go to a Shirahoshi, right? But there's no way they're surviving from 12 with only 4 cards in hand. That was a good one. Good game to my opponent, but that's kind of an idea of what the deck can do. This is just a taste of what the deck is capable of, right? No, but seriously, that was pretty solid there. Okay, so that was against Blue-Black Usopp. Now we got a game versus Eustace Kid. This is the first version that I have of the deck, guys, so don't think that there's like, that this is finished. If you have some ideas to add to it, please do. Okay, and that last game was a good example of a high roll. This game, it looks like we're going to have, maybe potentially have a good example of just an average pull. So playing out a Shirahoshi, we're going to play out the 3-cost 4K. Bonnie, swing for 5. They have to give me a counter there, or I get to draw 2, trash 1. They're going to swing for 5. I think we're just going to give them a 1K counter. I don't want to get too aggressive here. There's no reason to take these early 5Ks all the time, unless you have something very specific you're going for. Okay, that was a pretty decent pull for us. We did get something that can get rid of this Basil Hawkins. But we're just going to slam down Nico Robin and just keep going, right? They had to trash a life. That is not what they liked. And I promise they didn't enjoy that because they took the hit before that as well, I believe. So that does hurt. Okay, they're coming in for 5. We get a beige. We'll make it where their leader cannot attack. That's why it's also good to kind of take your first hits if you can. Okay, they're going to gain a life with the Trafalgar Law, and the card they gained was a Basil Hawkins. No big deal. We can actually get rid of that card. I'm going to add a... Okay, pause. Major interaction there for the deck if you can ever get a Jory Bonnie to stick. Now, I have a Dawn attached, and then I play out Nico Robin. They trash a life card, so they lost a life. We draw 2 trash 1 from our effect. We took away their draw 2 trash 1 they set there with Basil Hawkins with their Trafalgar Law, and we drew 2 and trash 1 instead with our effect. Very, very powerful, and this is starting to look very good for us. So now we're going to cycle a card out, probably that Kuzan. I don't think we'll need that right now. Who knows? It might have come in handy, actually, but But hey, we're all right. We're going to swing in for 5. Let's see what they do. Now we're going to swing in for 6. They do have a blocker, and then we'll swing in for 6 more. They'll probably take this one. Yep, they'll take it. No trigger. Seems good. Your turn. If they want to attack into my board, be my guest, right? Because what am I going to swing with next? Okay, they swung 5 into 4. That was very, very greedy. Yeah, they're going to go 5 into 4 again. Now I got out of an attack with that. And they'll go 10 into there. We'll use the blocker. We have 2 decent bodies here. They're going to make us trash a life with the Eustace Captain Kid. But I'm going to one-up him here. I'm going to play a card that he does not have access to. This is a card that only Big Mom Pirates decks have access to. Let me make sure. Yeah, speed's on 2x. So we're going to swing for 5. Let's see what he wants to do. We'll swing for 6. I'm going to swing all out first because I'd rather him get that card, the Shirahoshi, than whatever might be under it. But hey, you don't always get, it doesn't always work out that way. So all right, here we go. He's going to swing 9 into 6. He probably should have maybe tried to go for game, but it probably wouldn't have worked out because we have 4K counter in hand and we have 3 life. So he's going to swing it for 5. I'll give 1K counter here and then maybe take one. Actually, it looks like I'm just going to take this one. He plays out a ace. Oh, yeah, I should have known he was playing ace because he had no Dawn invested. Okay, so whatever happened there, we got to do a, I think it was a draw 2, trash 1 trigger with Bonnie. And here we go. I think right here, what I should do, let's see if I actually do it or not. So I need to swing 5 first. Okay, we don't do that. So I should have swung for 5 first and dared him to use his blocker. Because see, now look, now I can't swing for 5. So I should have swung for 5 first there. That was a sequencing issue for sure. Okay, they're going to swing for 5 into me. I've got counters, guys. I do have counters, right? But I just don't know what he's going to do. Okay, we got a Thunderbolt there, but unfortunately, it just isn't going to help us, right? I can't pop the Basil Hawkins because he'll... Okay, he was going to go all in there. So, it looks like he was about to go all in, like swing 12 with the... with what's his name? Swing for 12 with the Luffy. That was his plan there. And it looks like I was going to get a You're the One Who Should Disappear from life and then a Basil Hawkins. So that was going to be a draw 2 trash 1. Seems good. So I was going to be fine, right? Because his final attack would have been, if he had played out the 10 cost ace, would have been a 10, an attack for 10, right? But I already have a 2K in hand. I already have a You're the One Who Should Disappear. And I have the Shirahoshi, and I'll get a Basil Hawkins. So with that alone, it'll be 2, 4, 6. So I'll be able to get out of it, right? I'll go from 5 to 11. I'd have been fine. However, if he had swung in for 12, right, like he was trying to do there, if he had swung in for 12 with that Luffy, it would have complicated things. Now, I still had the Basil Hawkins to draw 2 trash 1 and look what the top card of my life is, or top card of my deck, rather. So I would have probably been okay, but maybe not. Like, I'm trying to do the math in my head right now. I might not have been, guys. It might not have been okay. But either way, good game to my opponent. That was a close one. Eustace Kid is a beast, and they're kind of doing what we're doing, where it's like, I'm just going to eat your life up, and instead of having a 10 cost 12K Charlotte Linlin, they have a 10 cost 10K Ace. I think our deck is better at doing this than theirs is, but maybe that's just me. And I know that's probably not what Eustace Captain Kid fans would like to hear right now. Like, wait, so you're saying Yellow Linlin might be better at doing the whole life burn thing than we are? Yeah, I think so. Because we have the bigger, better life burn character in 10 cost 12K Linlin, and that card's leader locked, whereas the 8 cost Captain Kid is not. So I can use your card, but you can't use mine. Otherwise, yeah, probably Eustace Kid would have been better for sure. All right, we got one more game, guys. We got a game of Yellow Big Mom here, Linlin versus Gecko Moria. So volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go, guys. So again, last game was a pretty mediocre pull. I think it was just a pretty average pull for the deck. First game was a total insane pull. Look at this, guys. They're running the 6-cost Luffy in here, the new 6-cost Secret Luffy from OP10. Okay, they make me trash a card. I don't think Raigo's going to be that great against him, so I'm just going to do this. I'm going to push the Sindri to the top of their life. They have to trash a card. They had a Soap Sheep. Seems good. And now we're, back at it. They're going to come in for 5 here. I'm going to give him a 1K counter because I know he's going to attack at least one more time. Let's see what he pulls out of the trash. I think he has another Perona. Yeah, he's got another Perona. We got a trash Anami here. Unfortunate, but we did get a Jory Bonnie. We did get an Nico Robin. Then they hit us with a negative holo, and we had to lose that card too. Okay, they are aggressively countering out, but we're starting to develop a board that's a little bit bigger than theirs. They pop our card with a Shigan Finger Pistol, and this is just aggressive, guys. This is all-out aggression. I get rid of one of my Charlotte Linlins because I don't need both of them. They're going to trash the last card in their hand to play out a Perona, making me trash a card. I trash the other Linlin because I'm in pure survival mode now, guys. There is no gaining life right now. We are in pure all-out survival mode, right? Okay, well, I'm still going to play this card out and trash their top life. I do have a Shirahoshi that they cannot get through. There is no card in Gecko Moria that I'm aware of that can just get through my Shirahoshi. They have to pop it, and that gives me a life. Now, they might be running something like a 6-cost Brook or something, but maybe not. So they're going to swing 10 into my Nico Robin. I'm not worried about that. They can have it. Okay, and now they have a 5K to attack in, 7 now, to attack in with their Perona. We have another blocker. We're doing just fine. So right here, we need to make sure we do things properly. I have options now. I can use my leader effect. I can set my leader effect to whatever I need. Watch this, guys. Swing 7 at face. Take my top life card. Set it to you're the one who should disappear. And I draw 2 trash 1 with the effect of the Joribani. And I have a life left and a blocker. This turned pretty quickly against my opponent, didn't it? Because now I actually have an extra life cushion that he doesn't know about. I mean, he may have assumed. He may have been like, okay, yeah, I think I know what that card is. Okay, he's going to swing in for 6 here. I'm not just going to give him it for free, right? We're going to give him a 2K counter here, and that's fine. He's going to play out a Gecko Moria. He's going to play out a Gecko Moria. Let's see what he chooses to do with it. He's going to grab a Cerberus, bring that into play active as a blocker. Very well played there. Let's see what he chooses to bring back as rested. Maybe an Absalom or a Dr. Hog back. He's going to do a Perona. Just put a body on the board. Just put a body on the board. Now he's going to swing 6 into 6. I'm not going to let him have that card. I need to save that card. And now, guys, Joribani has survived another turn. We can actually go for lethal this turn, guys. We can actually go for lethal right now if we choose to. We'll go 7 into 5, see what he gives us. Takes it, so now we get to draw 2, trash 1. But we do have to trash a card from our hand. Okay, that's unfortunate. So we go ahead and get that. Okay, nice. We got a Rygo. We'll take that as well. We kind of drew into exactly what we needed here. We'll trash the right. Well, actually, I guess I decided, no, I don't need that card. That's weird thinking back now. I'm like, that seems like it might have been a better call to just pop this Gecko Moria and go for the board with what I have left, because I think I could have got everything but one card when I have a blocker and a way to gain life. So who knows? Let's see what happens here. Okay, I've determined I'm going to go for lethal. Okay, I know why. This game, I knew my opponent. I knew my opponent had gotten rid of all these 2K counters. Let me show you what happened here, guys. That was calculated. So this game right here, notice this is earlier on. I already noticed they have 2 Surus in their trash. That's 2 2K counters, right? Let me hit play. And we're going to fast forward a little bit further. Let me see when I last checked their trash, because that was when I determined. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, so right here. So let me hit play, and I'm about to look at their trash. I'm like, let me see something here. Hang on a minute here. They go 3. They have 3 Peronas in their trash. They have 3 Sindris, we can see. There's 2 in the trash and 1 in their life. And then let me hit play. Okay, I'm counting that all right now. And I'm like, wait, and you've got 2 Surus? Well, hang on. Hang on a minute. You know, that means you have 3, 6, 7, 8. You have 8 2K counters that are accounted for with what we see right here. Right? And excuse me, is there also a, hang on. There's also a Perona on the field, guys. Watch this. I click on the trash. Yeah, okay. So I see all 4 of your Peronas. I see 3 of your Sindris and 2 of your Surus. I'm saying you do not have no 2K counter in hand, good sir. You don't. You might have 2K counter altogether across 2 bodies, but this was a calculated lethal, guys. That's why I did this in this exact order. Now, understand, we didn't even have to do that. We could have tried to play for one more turn by going, instead of going into the life with the Nico Robin, I could have gone into the board with everything, right? And then with 1 Dawn attached to, because remember, my last life card we set as you're the one who should disappear, and we have a Shirahoshi blocker. So we have 3 things we're getting out of easily, right? So it's like, okay, with that in mind, I can still attach a Dawn to my Bonnie, go 6 and 7s into their board and try to get cards off, and then play out Eustace Kid at the end of the turn, trashing their top life card, and still drawing 2 and trashing 1. So we were in a very, very strong position there, right? But at the same time, I think the way we got the Eustace Kid was through the Joribani's effect. Whatever the case is, we had that pretty well figured out. That was not just a total guess, let me just say that. All right, good game to my opponent. That was a lot of fun. Remember, guys, we went all in, swing for 7. I know he doesn't have the counter. There's no way. Swing for 9, and that's GG. They had a 1K counter and a Gecko, and they drew the Sindri from their life that we knew was there. It was deliberate. It was deliberate. No, I'm just kidding. All right, here we go. So with that in mind, guys, that's the list we're messing with. That's what I've been working on lately, and I do think it has some potential, guys. I think this list has some potential. It's in the same ballpark as Purple Yellow Crocodile for me, where it's like, okay, I think with the right pilot, you could probably do very well with a deck like this, with this leader or Purple Yellow Croc, and, you know, with enough practice and fine-tuning, fixing the deck up, I think it has serious potential. Now, one thing I want to say, or a question I have for everyone is, do you think it would be better in Katakuri? Because remember, guys, I was able to just set my life cards whatever I wanted once I got down to 3 life. Because you can start doing it as soon as you go down to 3 life. You use the leader effect, you take the top card of your life and go down to 2, and then you can set it back right away and go back up to 3. So this leader effect allows me to set whatever I want into my life. Whereas with Katakuri, if it's already there, well, it must be nice. But what about the games where your triggers aren't in your life? This leader says, no, they're always going to be in my life. Now, if your opponent has ways to remove life, okay, that's a little different, right? We have to play around that accordingly. But guys, the fact that you can set cards into your life like you're the one who should disappear, like the beige, like these blockers like Sanji, or set a Nico Robin into your life for later and then Shirahoshi it out, there are a ton of very powerful options. What else? Oh, so other than Katakuri, though, the other 2 options technically is Charlotte Pudding and Black-Yellow Linlin. The reason those are the only options for what we're trying to do is because you have to be a Big Mom Pirates type character in order to use this character's effect. If you're not running this character's effect, I would recommend you run Yellow Kid. I would recommend you run Yellow Eustace Kid if you're not trying to cap out with the 10 Dawn play with Charlotte Linlin. But guys, I think this deck can deal with that deck. I think this deck in the mirror is actually this deck is probably favored. I don't know for sure. I haven't done a ton of testing, but I would imagine it's probably favored, right? Because we can actually just, you know, we can make them lose as much life as they can make us lose, but we get to set our last life card. So it's like, okay, if you ever run out of ways to lose life, or for us to lose life, well, we're going to be gaining life with our Linlin and setting the card in our life what we need to. So after they've played out like a Eustace Captain Kidd or 2, well, now what are they going to do? Just hope we run into Basil Hawkins, and we can choose to or choose not to do that, right? We do have that option. So good stuff. All right, I'm done yapping about it. Tell me what you guys think. Overall, though, I will say this, guys, the list felt very good, and in my initial play testing with this set list right here, this is just like the first version of the deck, I've had very strong results. Like, I'm doing very well with it. I'm not saying, I don't know what the weakness is for it yet. Maybe it's not good in a Blue Dofi. I have not played against any Blue Dofis yet, or Black Lucci. Remember, whenever you're play testing, just throw it into the sim and see how it feels first to see if it even has any potential. Because if we get to the point where it's like, well, wait a minute, the big problem for this deck is Blue Dofi or something, or whatever it might be. Okay, well, maybe we actually don't, well, we need Raigo for Blackbeard. Let me say that right now, guys. We do need Raigo for Blackbeard. But maybe, you know, maybe we start moving cards out of the way like this Kuzan. Maybe this needs to be a 5-cost Luffy that we can put into life and pop characters with, right? There's a bunch of different options. All right, I'm done, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Let me go ahead and put up the playmat page. Big shout out to everybody who supports the channel, guys. Whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, whatever you're doing to help me out, I really appreciate it. Helping out with the Red Yellow Sabo information, helping out, you know, just being part of the community. It's a big deal, guys. Hopping on the Discord and being a part of the community, it really goes a long way. Okay, big shout out as well to the BB Pirates playmat supporters. Hope you guys are enjoying your playmats. To all the new members on YouTube, I need to update this list. This is not all of them, but to all the new YouTube members, thank you guys so much, and the old ones too. Appreciate you guys. Thank y'all so much. And then, of course, to the patrons, guys, thank you to everybody on here, just supporting the channel, helping out in whatever way you can. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. All right, we're done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please don't hesitate to put them in the comment section below. And yeah, until next time, guys. Peace.